Good evening, my dear students from a grade, from our students belongs to the class of algebra, specifically algebra 1. Today we're going to learn how to graphing linear functions or equations on the line. Okay, but before to do that, we must establish what is the definition of the line. Definition of a line, as soon as we can read it on a whiteboard, we can establish this is going to be a sequence of points located in the same space, one after another one. And in that situation will be collinear points. With most precisely, in geometry definition, to sketch a line, it doesn't matter what kind of technical method we want to use, at least we require 2 points. And you connect the 2 points, and there is no beginning and there is no ending point. The lines extends until the infinity. Now, to sketch the line, we can apply two methods. One of them is assign the plotting points, and the second one, the intercepts, as you can read in the white. Okay, in what consists the first method to graphing by means of plotting points? It's simple. We're going to have a linear equation. Before to do that, make sure the linear equation must be written in the slope intercept form with more details in a few lessons later. We're going to explain what does that means. But to clarify in simple English, when I said slope intercept form, you have the linear equation into variables, and we must to solve for y-axis at at the beginning, and after that, create a table values. The table values can be written in horizontal path or vertical path. Actually, to the left side, we're going to assign as soon as we wish, or depending on convenience or whatever you want, the x values will be positive, negative values. And that values we call that we can name that one like a domain or input values because you're assigned all of them. Now the output values whole range belongs to the y-axis. That will be the results to replace the x values in the equation on the line, and we're going to obtain the graph. This is a summarize for this method. You can assign 3, 4, 5, 6 points in the letter X, and even though you are assigning more of 2, 3, 4, or 5 points, we're going to obtain a perfect skew on the line. Okay. Now, in the second method, we seem accomplish a little bit some kind of knowledge in algebra because we're going to calculate the intercepts. Well, the intercepts, there's two kinds of intercepts, the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. To calculate the x-intercepts, my dear students, that means the graph will touches the, sorry, touches the x-axis. What does that mean? That means at the moment we're going to calculate the value from x, the y value must be replaced by 0 and so for x. Now the y-intercept is the opposite. In this case, the graph will touches the y-axis. I mean the vertical line, and how we're going to calculate that situation? Replace the value from x for 0 and calculate the value from y. Let's see what happened. Let's going to try to sketch the graph using one single example. Where and the first problem says, okay, we must graph the following linear equation by means of plotting points. And the equation is written in general form. I mean 3x minus 2, sorry, 3x minus 2y equals 12. Okay, well, in this graph, we must create table values. And after that, complete is get the graph. Well, let's see what we're going to do. Well, first of all, let's copy the equation over here. 3x minus 2y equals 12. Okay, and remember, the first thing that we must do is solve for y. Because 3x is adding, passes to another side to subtracting. So we got negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 12. And because the number 2 is multiplying, passes to divide. So y that will be equals negative 3x plus 12 divided by negative 2. And if you want to simplify this expression perfectly well, the only thing that we have to do is divide both numbers, but separately. Sometimes we have a whole number, sometimes we have decimals. Just in case we have decimals, please just leave the problem into fractions, okay? So, negative 3 divided by negative 2, that will be negative 1.5, sorry, positive 1.5. But instead to live in decimal numbers, we're going to be working with fractions. So y will be equal 3.5 x. This is by one hand. And by the other hand, we got the number 12 divided by negative 2, positive times negative is negative, and the answer will be negative 6. And we are solving for y. At the moment we solve the equation by y, that means we're going to write the equation in the slow intercept form, okay? Now, this is the moment go through, because we really want to get the graph by plotting points. This is what we're talking about. Let's create the table values. Again, x and y-axis, okay? Left side are the input values, call this one like a domain, and the y-axis will be the output values, called the range. In the x-axis, you're going to provide the values, negative and positive values, as many as you wish, okay? Negative and positive values, but in a sequence. Well, if you wish, we can start since, for example, since negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. If you want to continue, provided the values, that will be more than enough, okay, at the moment to substitute all of them. Now, how are we going to obtain the values from y? Just explained you already. The only thing that we have to do in this case is replace every value from x by every one of them. Okay, let me see if we have a calculator over here. Let me share the screen to show you how we must calculate those values, okay? Just hold on a second. Let me looking for this application. No, forget it. Okay, this is the application. All right, this is a calculator. We have this application. Okay, let's going to simulate. Let's see. Stop share. All right, let me share the screen again. Okay, now I'm pretty sure you can see the calculator functions, okay? So because we have the easier way, while we're going to get the graph by plotting points using the calculator, we have this model Casio FX82ES. Well, what is the first thing that we must do? If you see, at the moment we push once, the button mode, and we got three options. The first one copies the standard function, SAT is statistics function, and table that means tabular in Spanish. So we're going to select the option number 3, and you're going to find out the FDX. That means the letter Y, but instead to use letter Y, we are applying the notation of functions. And how are we going to obtain the table values? That's simple. The only thing that we have to do is write the equation. Remember, the equation is 3.5x minus 6. So let's write the number 3.5. 3, the fraction, the fraction bottom first. 3, downward, half, move the pad to the right side, and to write the letter X, the only thing that you have to do is push once the alpha button in the right parentheses. We got 3.5 X minus 6. Sucks writing 6. And we are copy the equation, okay? Let's push the equal button. The next step, the calculator is going to ask you, okay, from which number would you like to start? If you remember in your table values, you're starting from -2, right? So let's push -2. And the calculator asking for in which value would you like to end. You can leave down the 5, but if you wish, that's going to establish starting together while we're talking about the original table values, starting from -2, and we said, okay, we're going to finish on 2. And when the problem says step 1, that means in how many is that increasing order. When the calculator asking for step 1, that means the value from X will increase by 1. For example, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. For this kind of calculus, leave in the 1, okay? And push the equal button. And got, sorry, the results of the table values. For example, if you see that when X has a -2, the value from Y will be -9, okay? The second answer, when X equals 1, -1, that will be -7.5. When X is a value from 0, the answer will be -6. Okay, now continue, move the pad downward, 1 and 1, 2. If you see when X has a value from 1, that will be -4.5. And finally, when X equals 2, the value will be -3. And if you wish, you can continue adding values and obtain the full graph of the line, okay? Now, because we have the table values, we're fully prepared to skip the graph, okay? So remember, we have -9, 87.5, 86, 84.5, -3. This is the moment go through. We must create the coordinate plane. Remember, as soon as we can create a good measure, the coordinate plane, we're going to define an excellent graph, okay? This kind of problems is not so complicated. The only thing that we must to do is be patient. The moment to use the calculator and replace all of them to obtain the graph. Or doing manually. I mean separating, for example, -3.5 times 2. Actually, 3.5 times -2. The number 2 with number 2 cancel will be -3. Minus 6 will be -9. And again, 3.5 is 1.5 times -1 will be -1.5 minus 6, -7.5, and so on. But I'm strongly recommend that model the calculator because we're going to save a lot of time at the moment to create this table of values. Now, this is the moment we are waiting for. Okay, this moment, that means we're going to create the graph. Since -9, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. I'm doing increasing value from the y-axis because we have a negative values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, on to 6 value over here. And that's going to increase to give us the same, almost the same side, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have the full coordinate plane. Remember, this is x-axis, this is negative x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is going to be negative y-axis. Remember, as soon as every line, every horizontal vertical mini line that you can see in the coordinate plane has a value of 1 unit. Okay, so the only thing that we have to do is connect the input in the output values. For example, in the letter x, when x equals -2, the part in the y-axis will be -9. So the first value located will be located over here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. -9 in y-axis, -2 in x. -1 with 7.5 negative. 3, 6, 7. 7.5 will be located between 7 and 8. That will be the second point. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.5, located over here, sorry. Okay, better. Now, 0 with -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 with -6. 1 with -4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 approaches over here. And 2 with -3. And this is the geometry definition from line. What is a line? A sequence of points in the same space, okay? For that reason, at the moment we're going to sketch the graph, it will be easier for us to connect all of these points. It doesn't matter if it overpasses the line, but basically the idea is to create a full line, all right? So this is going to be the graph of the line given by the equation y equals 3.5x minus 6. And this is going to be the first demonstration. How are you going to sketch the graph, okay? Remember that step number one, given the linear equation, okay, and x and y axis, make sure the equation must be written in slope intercept form, or simplementary words, so for y. And after that, create a table values when the letter X represents the domain or the input values, and you're going to assign the values as soon as you wish, as many as you wish. And the y-axis will be the output values that will be resolved to substitute every value from X in the original equation, and you obtain the value from Y. And at the moment you have the value from X and Y, connect all of these points and create the graph, all right? And this is going to be the solution set for this problem, okay? Let's perform another example. I'm going to erase the whiteboard. Okay, I'm going to erase the whiteboard once again, and I'm going to change instead number 1, I'm going to change the number by the number 2, and same instructions. Once again, the problem number 2. We're going to sketch the graph by plotting points, okay? But this time, we have another equation. I mean, this equation will be given by negative x plus y minus 2 or minus 5 equals 0, okay? Well, the name of this equation, negative x plus y minus 5 equals 0. The name of that equation is in the equation, the slope, in the general form. Remember, the step number 1, we're supposed to solve for y in the equation. Okay, remember, we must know what are the rules of transposition of terms. Remember, everything is adding passes to subtracting. Everything subtracting passes to adding. Everything's multiplying passes to divide, and everything dividing passes to multiplying. But the most common mistake that students made at the moment you're going to solve for one singular variable, especially when adding or subtracting numbers, elements of variables, is because the student pay attention in the sign or the symbol located to the right side. That's the ground strategy. At the moment going to solve for any variable, the only thing they have to do is pay attention in the sign of the element provided in the left side, no in the right side. Let me check let me do a demonstration for you. Again, let's going to copy the linear equation once again. I mean, negative x plus y minus 5 equals 0. So we must solve for y. What we have to do, simple. The letter x, well, most of the people say, it's adding positive subtracting because they're taking a look this positive sign. No, wrong. At the moment we to move x and the number, pay attention in the sign located to the left side of the variable or the number. For that reason, left side, the letter x is negative. What moves to the other side will be the opposite. I mean, that will be positive. And same happen with the number 5, because this number 5 is subtracting. Why? Because to the left side symbol is negative, and the moves in the right side will be positive. For that reason, at the moment we're going to solve for y, the answer will be x plus 5. Okay? And yep, every time that we solve for y, make sure always write the number who has the x variable first. Okay, this is the x and y. Sorry, this is the slope intercept form equation when we solve it for y. Because there's no more than that. Now it's time to create the table values. I mean, we can create the table x and y. Remember, x-axis will belong to the domain or the input values, and we can assign as many values as we wish. Well, if you want to start from -3, let's see. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. All right, as many points, as many values as you wish. Where I got these x values? Again, this values in the letter x is as many values as you wish. I mean your preference. But remember, you can start giving negative values and positive values in the same sequence. At the same time, if you start from -5, please try to finish until +5. If you start from -10, please try to finish until +10. At least we require 2 points to skid a line, okay? Now, how are we going to obtain the y-axis? Well, simple. To obtain the y-axis, the only thing that we have to do is change the x variable by these numbers, and at the end, we're going to obtain the answer. For example, x plus 5, change x by -3, -3 plus 5, that will be +2. Now, -2 plus 5, that will be 3. All right, -1 plus 5, that will be 4. 0 plus 5, that will be 5. 1 plus 5, that will be 6. 2 plus 5, that will be 7. And 3 plus 5, that will be 8. And we are complete the table values. We have a pattern, right? The y-axis increased by 1 in the sequence 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But this is doing manually, replacing the letter X by the numbers. But how about with that calculator? Once again, let me show you a demonstration once again with the same calculator, the Cassius FX82ES. Okay, Let me reset, set on once again. You're going to find out the calculator in this mode, right? So push the button once, the option, number 3, table. And we have the function f dx. Remember the linear equation is given by y equals x plus 5. The notation of function means instead to write y, we replace y by f dx. So let's going to write the equation. Push, push once the button of alpha and write parentheses. X plus 5 equals. The problem mentioned, okay, in which number would you like to start? Would you like to, we're going to like to start from -3, ending on +3, and you know, step 1. And as soon as you can see, we can check the answer. -2 with 2, -3 with 2, 2 with -2 with 3, -1 with 4, 0 with 5, 1, 6, 2, 7, 3, and 8. We're increasing by 1. Now, once you complete the table values and you really want to reset your calculator, it's simple. The only thing that you have to do is push the button once and push once again the option number 1 and you receipt your calculator Cassius FX82EX, okay? Now, because we're fully prepared with these table values, let's do it again, right? The X and Y axis. Okay, so we can perfectly create the coordinate plane once again, okay? So we can remarkable the values since -3 until +3. Okay, but let me do it first. The y-axis. Why the y-axis? Because the y-axis obtain the positive y-axis obtain the maximum value from the letter x. Sorry, maximum value from the y-axis. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is y. Same thing with the letter x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And same happen with the negative y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. We have the full coordinate plane. Remember, every smaller line for each quadrant represents 1 unit, okay? Remember, this is y-axis, this is negative y-axis, positive x-axis, and negative x-axis, okay? Now we're fully prepared to sketch the graph. Let's see it. Remember, input and the output values. Okay, so -3 with 2. -3 next, 2 in y, 1, 2. It's going to be the first point. The second point, -2 with 3. Well, 1, 2, 3. Then -1 with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 with 5. 1, 6. 2, 7, 3, 8. If you see, we have that sequence of points in this line, the definition from the line. Okay, for that reason, the only thing that we have to do in this situation is get all of these points, okay? And we are creating a line, all right? And the equation will be given by y equals x plus 5. And that's it. That's all that we have to do to graphing linear equations by plotting points, okay? Now, when this situation, we are finished to demonstrate the first method, the first technique. That's a little bit tedious, but because we require a little bit patience to create the table values. And remember, at least 2 points we defined to skate the line, and we got on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, and we're defined a full line. Okay. Now it's time to demonstrate the example 3 and 4, how we're going to graph a line using X and Y intercepts. Okay, let me erase the whiteboard once again. And I'm going to, sorry, I'm going to erase the table values because we don't need this anymore. And change the instructions. Okay, the example number 3. Graph the following linear equation by means of intercepts. And what will be the equation? Okay, the equation can be useful, will be given by 2x plus 3y equals 12. Okay, this is going to be the model of the equation. Okay, remember, to what is the concept of intercepts? Well, the intercepts is the point when the graph which touches x or y-axis. The x-intercept, how are we going to calculate that one? Because the graph will touches the x-axis, and we're going to calculate that value when what substitute y by 0, so for x, and the y-intercept will be the opposite. That happened when we're going to calculate when the substitute x by 0 and solve for y. But remember, the same step as the first method, we make sure the equation must be written in the slope intercept form. I mean, solving for y. This is the first requirement that we have to do in this situation. We have the formula 2x plus 3y equals 12, okay? And let's go to solve for y. Remember, pay attention in the symbols located to the left side. 2x is positive, passes to be negative. And if you see, always make sure the number who has the letter x will be at first. I mean, negative 2x, and because 12 is positive, copy the number 12. And this number 3, because this number 3 is multiplying, passes to divide. So y equals negative 2x plus 12, the entire equation divided by 3. So let me fix this number. Yeah, divided by 3. Now we can divide both elements by separately. If you divide negative 2 divided by 3, we're going to obtain decimal number. Solve the expression like a fraction. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus, and another one will be 12 divided by 3. The result will be 4. And we got the equation of the line written in the slope intercept form. Now it's time to calculate the x and y intercepts. Let me label over here the x intercepts. Well, the x-intercept is simple to calculate. The only thing that we have to do in this case is change, obviously, the value from y to 0. So let's copy the equation again. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. And according to the theoretical part mentioned, the graph touches the x-axis and we can calculate the value of x when y equals 0. So instead to write y, we're going to change y by 0 equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. This negative 2/3 x, because it's subtracting, passes to adding, left side. And we have 2/3 x equals positive 4. This number 3 is divided. When passes to multiply, we got 2x equals 12 because 4 times 3 is 12. And now number 2 is multiplying, passes to divide. 12 divided by 2, that will be 6. And we are calculating already the x-intercept, right? Now, the y-intercept. The y-intercept. The y-intercept, my dear students, the process will be the same. Copy the equation. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. Okay, but this time, what the problem mentioned, the graph touches the y-axis and we can calculate the value of y when x equals 0. The only thing that I have to do is replace x by 0. So y equals negative 2/3 times 0 plus 4. So the answer will be 4 units. How are we going to write the x and y intercepts? The x intercepts can be written in the 4, 6, comma, 0. Because 6 has a value and y equals 0. And another one is the opposite. The y-intercept can be written by 0, comma, 4. Okay? And because we are calculating already the x and y-axis using a little bit of knowledge of the algebra, and actually to transpositional terms, now it's time to create the coordinate plane. Okay, you don't need to create a full huge coordinate plane because we have at least 2 points. At the moment to sketch the graph, that will be a little bit quick, sorry. So we got this coordinate plane and we can create a scale 2 on 2. I mean 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, negative 6, negative 4, and negative 2. Now this time I'm writing the numbers because I'm doing scale 2 and 2, right? This is y, negative y, x, and negative x. Okay. So basically, the only thing that I have to do this time, it's graph the 2 points, the intersection. I mean, the first one is 6 with 0. Well, 6 and 0 and y. As soon as you can see, this point touches the x-axis. And another point touches the y-axis because it says 0 with 4. So in geometry, once again, says or establish, at least we require 2 points to define or scale a line. It doesn't matter, it overpasses, connect all the points. And that's it. You can write, label the equation over here and over there. It doesn't matter. The equation will be given by y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. And that's it. That's all that we have to do in this problem. Okay, it's simple. Now we can perform another example just for conclude once again. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this video. Remember, if you like this video, you can push the like button and you can share this video. Remember, If you share the video, you can help a lot of students to clarify the doubts to get the graph and linear equations. Okay. Now I'm going to erase once again the, um, the whiteboard. These numbers in the whiteboard. Mhm. And let's copy the another equation. Okay, we have 2x minus 2y equals 4. Okay, we must write the linear equation by means of intercepts. Okay, remember step number 1, copy the equation once again. 2x minus 2y equals 4. And we're supposed to solve for y, okay? Now, negative 2y equals negative 2x plus 4. Remember, always the number who has the letter x will be at the located at the beginning. That negative 2 is multiplying, passes to divide. So y equals negative 2x plus 4 divided by negative 2. And divide both numbers by negative 2, we can conclude negative 2 divided by negative 2 will be positive 1, I mean x. And 4 divided by negative 2 will be negative 2. And we got the equation on the line written in that slope intercept form, okay? Now it's time to calculate the x and y intercept. The x-intercept, remember, is the value from x when y equals 0. Well, let's copy the equation. Y equals x minus 2. Well, change the y value by 0, and we got x minus 2. Because this number 2 is subtracting, passes to adding, so we can conclude the number 2 equals x, or x equals 2. For that reason, the x-intercepts can be written like 2, 0. Okay, that's simple. Now, the y-intercept, again, you can copy the same equation, y equals x minus 2, and we must replace this time the letter x by 0. So y equals 0 minus 2, so y equals negative 2. So we can handle this value will be given by 0 with negative 2. Okay. This is going to be the solution set from the x and y intercepts. Now it's time to, this is the moment go through. We must just get the graph of the moment get the graph. You can use the number 1 by 1 because this is now the huge graph. Okay. So let's create a mini coordinate plane. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This is going to be 3. 1, 2. This is going to be 3. 1, 2. And this is going to be 3. Y, negative y, x, and negative x. Remember, this time every line has a value from 1 unit. Well, this is the moment going through. Let's going to graph. The first intercept will be given by 2, 0, located over here. And another one, 0 with negative 2. And we got the 2 points. And because we have the 2 points on the line, Okay, that's it. It doesn't matter the line overpasses, and we got the full line. Okay, a beautiful full line given by the equation y equals x minus 2. And that's it. That's all that we have to do in the second example. Okay, guys. Well, we are learning how to sketch the linear functions by floating point and intercepts. Once again, I hope this video will be helpful at the moment to um, do your homeworks. And remember, you have doubts or questions, don't hesitate to let me know by the comments in the video. Thank you so much for your time to watching these videos. And remember, give it the like and share the videos. Have a good and wonderful night. God bless you, everyone. Remember, share anyone as you wish. Bye bye, so long. Take care of yourself.